Hey family, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Shauna and I'm checking in over here at Moments with Us. So I got some information to share with you guys. Some of you already seen a video that I'm going to quickly share with you guys, and some of you already heard maybe about the article that I'm also going to share with you guys. But if you have not, I'm going to share with you today. And if you want to share this information, go ahead and share it with your family, share it with your friends, and share it on all platforms that you know about. But quickly, we got some things coming through. It got legs. Let me tell y'all, I planted this stuff and I forgot about it. And when you forget about it, it started growing just like that. So we got some things coming through over there. And that's pretty much it. Let's jump right into today's video. Remember, you guys, to check and let us know where you're watching from and let us know how you are doing. Let's go ahead and start today's video. Let's go. So guess what? New York City, guys, they will start to track carbon footprints of residents' food purchases, y'all. So they're basically saying New York City will track the carbon footprints of residents' food consumption as part of a sweeping initiative to decrease the city's carbon emissions from food by a third this year. So Mayor Eric Adams revealed on Monday at an event for the Mayor's Office of the Climate and Environmental Justice. So this is a part of their going green in their climate change, as they say. So it is a part of that plan, trying to get everything to go green, I guess. It says the Mayor's Office of Food Policy has ordered city agencies to reduce their food consumption by 33% by the year of 2030. So we know the agenda, I think it's Agenda 2030, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot that's supposed to be going down. So it says, and Adams acts private corporations to cut their own emissions by 25% by the year 2030, insisting New Yorkers' wasteful eating habits cannot continue without imperiling the planet. So someone says it is easy to talk about emissions that are coming from vehicles and how it impacts our carbon footprint. But now we have to talk about beef. So if you guys don't know, they're supposed to be actually cutting down how much beef can be purchased, how much beef would actually be put out there for sale, and actually trying to cut beef out completely. So it's going to be slowly decreasing from our shelves, also going up in price. I don't know if we would even be able to afford it in the near future. So as that happens, what will happen? It'll then fall off our shelves and be replaced with what? If you said the lab grown meat, then you are definitely correct. When they go ahead and go in and say, but now we have to talk about beef. Yes, city officials urge New Yorkers to put down the burgers and pick up the vegetables and beans. So someone also says a plant-based diet is better for you and for your physical and mental health, which I'm not saying is not, but it should be your choice. Whether it's healthy or unhealthy or not, it doesn't matter. It should be your own choice of what you want to put in and put out of your body. It definitely should be your own choice. So someone says, I'm living proof of that. But thanks to this new inventory, we're finding out it is better for the planet as well. While the mayor has long professed to be a vegan, even publishing a cookbook touting his supposedly plant-based diet, he admitted last year that he enjoyed the occasional fish after a restaurant whistleblower came forward. So, you know, he's going and pushing for something, claiming that he's fully, I guess, a vegan, but then it comes out that he's actually not. You know, they're usually the face of the cover, usually, as in a cover up. Basically, they already tried to go ahead and cut down on some things over in New York. And they're saying, I don't know if people are really ready for this conversation. Basically, when Michael, he tried to legally enforce healthy eating habits back in 2012 by going ahead and putting up a ban, trying to ban basically sugary drinks. So if you know, you go to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, wherever, and order that super large soda, juice, or whatever, basically that should be banned, what he was saying. But the city courts, well, the Supreme Court basically said no to that. They did not allow it. So So they did say no to that, but at the end of the day, they're definitely trying to cut how we eat. Basically be in control of any and everything that we eat and or drink. New York City, be ready for your carbon footprint to be tracked. States, New York City will track the carbon footprint of residents' food consumption as part of a sweeping initiative to decrease the city from carbon emissions from food by this year. By a third this year, basically. So, like I said as well, they already trying to get beef completely off the menu. They have been tampering with the meat already and replacing meat with the lab-grown meat. So you guys continue to watch out for that. In other news, I want you guys to listen to this video real quick.
Okay, so here we have the new ATMs here at the UVA Credit Union in Berkmar in Charlottesville, Virginia. Looks like they're made by Hyosung with a thing that looks kind of like the buildings there in Wuhan, China. This looks like a bar to possibly scan your license plate or your vehicle. Down here we have ID card scan, I assume, for vaccination cards. Over here we have a palm vein scan, which looks like possible microchips. And so what they're going to do is they're going to require mandatory vaccinations for all Americans and all of your children. And if you do not, comply with them, then they are not going to allow you to have access to your money. They will take your children. You will not have any kind of benefits, but they will give you the option to opt out, to give you free will to make it your own choice.
I know, it's definitely crazy, right? And this is right there in Virginia. So if you guys think that this stuff is not already happening and going on in the States already, you got another thing coming. So be on the lookout. We used to see these things in movies where your hand is scanned. Well, still today, where your hand is scanned for you to have access to anything that you own, or can I say own, because you will own nothing technically. But when it comes down to machines like this as well, access to benefits. So if you are a person who received government assistance and having a jab, I know a lot of, this is not even being talked about anymore. The whole jab situation, the whole COVID situation overall, it's not really being talked about as much as it was. But something is definitely in the works. And in order for us to have access to anything, you would be required to have something. You got to give to get. And that would be a requirement to have anything in the very near future. And you can go ahead and look at machines like this, and that already tells you nothing that you have, you will own. It will not be yours. Let's go ahead and listen to one more clip and let me know you guys' opinion. Always just drop a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking while watching these videos.
Thing. When people have to understand what's really going on. It's not enough that you think that maybe I'm going to have to bow to authority. It's important to understand, to see the whole picture. It's important to understand what you mentioned a while ago, that this is about life and death. It's about population reduction. This is no mistake. They're not.
Population reduction. To get rid of people any means necessary. And it's no mistake. Just like he said, it's no mistake. But the real question is, by the year 2030, how many people is it that they need to get rid of? And how are they going to do it? That's the question there.
On purpose. Let us take a brief look, just so that people understand what I'm talking about. There is another slide about the New World Order. It's both in English and in German. And it spells out exactly where we are and where we're headed right now. Können wir das kurz sehen? See this? At the bottom, you have the English translation. At the bottom, you have the German translation. It's the New World Order agenda, the analysis. The first step is destabilization. We've been through that. That's restricting economic freedom, increasing the volume of money, produce conflict, promote fear, over-regulating of current legal system. That's exactly what we're seeing. Second step is deconstruction. That's where we are right now. Inflation, lower purchasing power, bankruptcies, restriction of economic freedom, suspension of current arrangement systems. And the third step is reconstruction, setting up a new financial system. Then they will pop up and play the savior. Those who are trying to kill us will all of a sudden pop up and play the savior, assume the role as a savior in times of need. Universal basic income is what they're going to offer us. Centralization through supranational structures. And the final step is the end result, control over all resources, transfer of personal responsibility and global laws. This is not a conspiracy theory. You can read it in the Great Reset. Yeah. This is not a conspiracy theory. But if people do not understand this, they will not make the right choices. But very well spoken, Golan. You hit the nail on the head.
With all the current issues on our agenda, we tend to forget that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous three revolutions.
And you see, the difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, right. Just as an example, it's you who are changed. Yeah. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
We need to realize that humans are now hackable animals. You can hack them. A good two-way communication system, direct communication system between brains and computers, this is kind of the watershed moment. I mean, once you have a good two-way, nobody has any idea what happens after that. Well, I think maybe in a couple of decades when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian machines, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. And for that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body. So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge.
History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected. But the fourth industrial revolution is actually changing ourselves. It's changing not only what we are doing, it's changing who we are. What the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.
Smartphones and governments using that technology and a greater threat of surveillance. Can you talk to me about this, and do you think ultimately this is a good or a bad thing for civilization?
It could be good, but we need to be very careful about it. What's happening now, it's really a watershed in the history of surveillance. First of all, we see mass surveillance systems entering and being adopted in democratic countries which previously resisted them. Secondly, we see the nature of surveillance changing from over-the-skin surveillance to under-the-skin surveillance.
All right, speaking of surveillance, so everything you do, say, even when it comes down to think, like I could be thinking about TVs, I could be thinking about pumpkins, I could be thinking about a new furniture set, and I would not type it into my phone, computer, or anything. And next thing you know, I go online and boom, guess what pop up? Something that I just thought about. Now that's crazy right there. So we are under surveillance, even in our own minds. They are watching us. It's ridiculous. So we're going to leave this video exactly right here where it's at. Hopefully, if you guys stay to the end, you all have checked in by now. Once again, if you have not checked in, go ahead and check in. If you want to go ahead and let us know where you're from, where you're watching from, and how you're doing today, that would be amazing. So this is Shauna, and I'm officially checking out from Moments with Us. Make sure that you all stay prepped, stay blessed, stay safe, and most of all, remain beautiful queens and kings. And if you want to join the channel, all you have to do is press that subscribe button. Until next video, I'm officially out of here. Peace.